Hello everyone, Hamas28 here, and today we're back in the world of Dusty Hell. Let's get right into it. So, with the passive production of Tier 1 circuits basically completed, what I needed to do next was automate the canola farm so we could continue to produce crude oil in mass amounts and refine it in the fractioning still into our refined canola oil for massive amounts of LPG. LPG is a very efficient fuel that we'll use to power the base pretty much until the rest of the game or we find a better solution. Now to do so, I built an induction smelter and a pulverizer so that I can produce hardened glass, which is a key resource needed to produce Industrial Foregoing's range add-ons. These add-ons go all the way up to plus 12. And the max size only costs emeralds, which means a single machine could cover a 25 by 25 area or 625 blocks. Now, canola crops only need to be right-clicked, like so, which means using the plant gatherer isn't going to be the most efficient thing because it wants to left-click and break the block. So we're going to remove this guy. And instead, we're going to opt for the plant interactor. The cool thing about the plant interactor is that it is going to interact with the plants and only right click it. This is going to be a lot more useful because then we don't need the plant sower to replant the crop. This is going to be really useful later on when we build another 25 by 25 farm for all of these crops so we can automate the production of various foods, because right now I've been on the vegan diet of only plants and vegetables and that cannot be good for my health. So with the plant interactor in hand, I'm just going to go ahead and place this guy right here. Let me break this right there. And we'll just replant these candleberries real quick. Okay, I guess I'll just toss that one. And you can see we throw in our range add-on, show the working area, and you can see it's a massive area. It's pretty cool. I could even theoretically stack a second farm just right on top of this, and that might be what I do, because I could just use glowstone to lighten up these guys, and that should still work. Now we are going to have to power this guy with forge energy, which I think I'll do just by running some of these leadstone flux ducts down the side like so, and then just having it hooked up to the base, or I could just bring over another dynamo and just how did you get in? So I opted just to move the compression dynamo over here, just because I thought it'd be easier. So if we just throw in our, oh wait, I need to make I always forget that. You need an upgrade to actually fit in your stuff. So luckily upgrades are pretty cheap. Bronze gear, invar, and one of our control circuits. So they're really not that difficult to make. So let me grab one real quick. And now that we have the upgrade kits, now we can put in our closed loop. We can feed this guy some LPG. Let me grab some water from this infinite water source real quick. And it should start functioning. There we go. Now this should start right-clicking on the crops. Oh look, there it goes. And collecting the insides. Canola seeds and canola. And the canola is getting pulled out by the servo on the bottom. Can't really see it, but there it is. The servo's in there, and it's pulling out the canola the canola, and pushing it down to the canola presses to make our canola oil. Now, we do need to do something with these canola seeds. Interesting. So you can use a fluid transposer to make seed oil, and we could just burn that. Doesn't look like pulped biomass. And we could technically use it to make rich biomass for biocrude into grassoline, but that kind of seems like a lot of work for something I don't really need. So I think I'm just going to have this get vented into, what is it, an item trash can, just to get rid of it. But for now, I'm going to let it store, that way I can finish up the rest of the farm. But that's really all the work that needed to be done here. So now we're pretty much done with the production of canola oil. Because now our canola oil will get processed into crude oil and then processed into refined canola oil and that will produce a ton of LPG. Now to make room for the tree farm, I'm going to expand the base out in this direction because I built two +7 range add-ons for the plant sower and the plant gatherer, and they're quite big. So we're going to go from this side here, and I can actually show you just how big the range is on this guy. If we put him down right here and then put in the range add-on and show the working area, this is the range we're working with. A +7 is going to do a 15 by 15 area, which should be good enough for the tree farm. So first things first, we need to open the wall and then start pushing out this way to build it. We do have already a good amount of space here, and since it is above ground, it should be big enough. Alright, so here's the little frame I've made. Now we just have to fill the entire area with dirt. Now this is going to take a little bit of time because it's just slow getting dirt. You have to fill these wooden barrels with plant crops, and then you have to wait for it to compost. Luckily we have tons of bones, so it shouldn't take too long. And with that, it's mostly done. Only 2 machines. I still need to fill in the rest. Why aren't you cutting that down? That's odd. Yeah, that's in the working area. Weird. Oh, I need to filter the apples as well. I only put a drawer for wood. But it now mostly works. I'm going to have to continue filling in the dirt, but with this many saplings, it's going to be able to produce a ton of wood and a ton of saplings, and it's kind of going to feed into itself. Excess saplings I can use to make more dirt. And then right here, we'll work on our next farm that's going to grow all of our Pam's Harvest Craft crops so we can make some food. And with that, our vegetable crop farm is complete. So I tore down the old one to repurpose all the dirt, and it's almost filled with different types of crops. I have 4. I'm going to put 4 of each type of crop in here just to make it easy. That way we can make a variety of foods to feed us. So as you can see, it's working quite well. We got cactus fruit, lettuce, spice leaf, mulberry, everything. And then just clicking you can see all the different types of food we can make. Like something like veggie stir fry, which is very nourishing, would be really good. Or there's even a thankful dinner, top tier food, always edible and buffs the player. Only takes a couple extra stuff. Oh, that's crazy. It's a cooked turkey, sweet potato pie, toast, jam. It's a whole Thanksgiving dinner. But with that, with these 2 farms, we should be set on everything else. Now, of course, let's see, is this guy working correctly? He's still holding all the saplings, which is annoying. Maybe if I set him, I have him on furthest first. So what he should be doing is pulling out the saplings and then sending them down there, and then if this is full, just putting them into the drawer. But that doesn't seem to be the case for some reason. Maybe if I change them to random. Kinda. If I set them to nearest first though, that should clear them out. Huh, I guess not. Oh, I'm dumb. Because I didn't even connect it. So let me add this here. So now it should take them out. Yep, there it goes. Now if I set this to furthest first, it should send the saplings to our planter if it has the room, and if it doesn't, it'll deposit them into the drawer. Now we're going to make use of all of the extra saplings and apples and other stuff. Let's see, can I use apples? I actually didn't check that. Apple. Crucible to make water. Okay, we can. 4 of any vegetable, 4 of any sapling, and 4 of any fruit, along with 4 of any leaf, can make a bucket of water. Because what I want to do next is take our sieves, and if you take a look here, I don't think we might need crushed endstone at some point for yellorium if we actually need it. But if we take a look at the other product, for soul sand, you can see soul sand when sifted will give us nether warts, nether quartz, and ghast tears. Now we're going to be using the steel plated mesh, which means we have almost a 20% chance for nether wart, a 91% chance for 2 nether quartz, and a 3.64% chance for a ghast tear, which is really good. So I want to automate the production of nether quartz so we can start crafting all of the items that come out of here. One of the things I had wanted to make before was a controller for our storage boxes. If you type controller, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Drawer controller, but we needed redstone comparators, which take nether quartz, which we didn't have yet. And this should be useful because then, once we get access to applied energistics, we can just connect it and look into all of the drawers all around the base, which will be very nice. Now, to do this, we're going to head downstairs, and very similar to how we currently have our witch water set up, we're going to be doing the same thing. The only issue is this machine kind of feels kind of slow. Like the only reason it stopped is because I told this to stop making sand, because this guy was full of soul sand, because we're waiting on this guy to continue to produce canola oil, which we need more dirt. But since our crop farms are like right here, we're going to have that water get pumped down into more of these stone barrels. We're going to have that get combined with our sand, and we're going to instead use that soul sand in a sieve to make the items we want. Alright, so now we have our apples and our saplings getting piped down to these 4 wooden crucibles that are producing water. That water gets pumped into this portable tank, and then that water is routed all the way over here to a bunch of stone barrels, and actually it's not routed anywhere because I didn't put a servo. Wait, no, I shouldn't need to put a servo, I just need to right click the tank. There we go. So now that water gets outputted from the crucibles into the tank. That water is then pushed to the barrels all the way over here. That water is then transformed into witch water, which is pulled into this tank. The witch water is then pulled out of the tank, pushed into these 4 stone barrels, where it's combined with our sand to make our soul sand. So now I just need to put in our sieves. I'll probably just put the sieves like right here, and then I'll put a accumulator because it only has 3 outputs. So if I just keep it right next to it, it should be fine. I don't think we'll have to put any other production over here unless soul sand is used for something else. Soul sand. Which soul sand does have a couple of other crafts. Actually, it has like none. It has morbs, and that's it. And a wither builder. Yeah, that's really about it. It doesn't actually have any other crafts. You can use it to make solarium and nether brick, but other than that, you don't really need it for anything. Interesting. So I really just need to make the sieves here, which should go pretty fast. We do have an extra mechanical user that I took from over there, and it should just all fit together, and then we'll be done automating the production of, not the production, well, the production of soul sand is done. Now we just need to automate the production of quartz and the other stuff. So we should have 1 sieve ready to go, and I'm just going to do another 9x9. Or do we even need a 9x9 for this? Because it's in such low amounts, I could probably just do a 2x2. That should be fine. That way we don't overdraw the soul sand. So I think I'll go with that. And now with that, it's done. And you can see we're actually getting quite a lot of nether quartz. 1 gas tier. Now I just need to slap a accumulator on this thing and we'll be good to go. So a accumulator is pretty easy to craft here. Vacuum. As you can see, it's just a device frame, which is lead plates, tin, glass, a control circuit, and then iron gear, hopper, and iron gear, and tin, and a servo. So all really easy stuff. And then that's these last 3 ready to go. And then I think that's almost everything that we can get from a sieve. Oh, let me shut off this machine real quick, just so I'm not despawning items. So if we take a look at our sieves, dust is done. Oh, I guess, how do we get netherrack? Crushed netherrack. Oh, that's... Let me save this. Let's see. How do we make netherrack? Netherrack is made from lava and redstone in a bucket, in a stone barrel. And then when we process it, we have to crush it down into crushed netherrack. And then that will get us gold, blaze powder, ardite, and cobalt. Do we actually need Ardite and Cobalt though? I'm not sure. Because I haven't seen them get used for anything yet. Let's see, Ardite piece, Ardite ore, Ardite ingots, block of Ardite, molten Ardite, Manulian. Yeah, I don't even think we actually need it for anything. So I guess we don't need to do it yet, unless it comes up later. And then, let's see, we don't need this stuff, we can buy the saplings. Sand is getting sieved. Red sand is the same. That's soul sand. So I think the only other thing left is like diorite, crushed endstone, but all that would get us is yellorium. Ooh, maybe I should automate crushed skystone. Actually, we don't need to do that yet. And the reason we don't need to do it yet is that AE2 is locked pretty far behind the tech progression. So there's really not a point to automating it yet. Of course it would be useful, but it's not really needed. And it is kind of expensive to craft, because you have to use the skystone dust with lava buckets to make the skystone. But then you should be able to make skystone... Oh, actually, in this version. Lazy AE2. Okay, there's tools to get it. So once we get there, it'll probably be easier to do. So let me grab our accumulator, and then, let's see, well, the accumulator goes here. We'll need power, so I could probably route the power cells from over there, and then route the power through the back here to power that, because I also want to add 2 pulverizers here to process the cobblestone directly into sand. That way I don't have to manually move the sand. That'll just be passively created, and then we'll be good to go. And I didn't realize it, but the accumulator actually doesn't need any power, which is really nice. It holds more slots. Does have... I forgot how to do the filters on this though. So I think you have to filter it just based off the thermal expansion filters. It does show up in here. Shift right click to configure setup filtering. Wait, what? Oh, interesting. Okay, so it does have filters built in, which is really nice. But now it'll automatically pick up those items and put them in here. And then I'm going to filter it to nether wart, quartz, and gas tier. So whitelist, nether warts. Oh, I have to take the items out. 1, 2, 3. Nether warts, quartz, and gas tier. Like so. And this way, it's only going to pick up those products. So if I toss something nearby, it's not going to suck it up. That's what's really annoying about this one, is that it has a really big range. So anytime I drop something like on the surface of the base, it sucks it up and then steals it, and then I have to walk downstairs just to grab it, which is really annoying. Now let's see, this is working really well. That's going. So I think at this point, we can delve into Add Astra, or we can work on power generation. There is this thing here, bioreactors and biofuel generators. Each one generates about 160 RF per tick, and a max efficiency generator, reactor, can feed 28 biofuel generators. Wait, what? Biofuel. Okay, so the bioreactor makes the fuel, and the generator makes the energy. If each one generates 160 RF per tick, and one reactor can feed 28, then we're talking, what is that, like almost 30,000 RF per tick? No, that math is wrong. Almost 3,000 RF per tick. No, maybe 4,000 RF per tick, which is pretty good. But I don't really need anything to process that much power yet. But to make our life easier, what I do need is I need to add more production lines over here with these 2 machines, because I need to make plates easier, because right now plates are, oh, that's not how you type it. Plate production is kind of annoying. The alloy plates I'm making automatically, but all of the single, what's the opposite of an alloy? I guess singular item? All of these plates like iron, gold, copper, tin, and like lead plates, I have to keep throwing into the melter and then waiting for it to melt. But if I just use a compactor, we can compact them directly into plates at the cost of energy. So we're going to build a compactor machine right here. just to add to here, and then I'll probably use this side for power production with all the bioreactors. Yeah, I think that'd be good, because the bioreactor needs bio, and the crop farm is right here, so we could just pipe the crop products into the bioreactor, and then feed power throughout the rest of the base. Because we really only need power here, up there, this reactor, and then over here. Because if those are easier to use, then I won't need all these compression dynamos everywhere that have to constantly be fed with LPG along with the other machines. We could just run more cables all around the base. Alright, so the bioreactor, and I made 2 biofuel generators. These things are a pain. The biofuel generator, because to make it takes a machine frame and a redstone furnace, which takes another machine frame. So just to make it costs 2 basic control circuits, which is really annoying. But now with 2 of these, it turns out the bioreactor does take a lot of energy just to work. So I quickly mathed out that 2 generators should be good enough just to repower the reactor. Now this guy won't accept the actual product. I have to convert these to seeds, and then it should process it. So I took 9 different crop seeds here. Giga pickles don't turn into seeds. Interesting. I'll just have to eat those. Curry leaf and mustard. And now if I put these in, interesting. It doesn't accept everything, as you can see. Listed all seed. List all seed. Interesting. I wonder why some of these don't work. But you could see now with 5 of the seeds in here, the efficiency is 50% and it's producing 120 millibuckets per item. Now we take a look here. It does say it uses work energy buffer, so it's going to take a max of 10 RF per tick, which is actually pretty good because it's producing 120 millibuckets. These guys are taking that biofuel, and I wonder what the efficiency rate is here. It's producing 160 RF, and it's increasing the amount of biofuel. Well, one is, not the other. Huh. I wonder why this one increases slightly faster. But since they're both outputting 160, that's 320 RF back into the system, which is enough to power the bioreactor, and all of our machines we're going to be adding. So this is pretty good. Now I just need to figure out what combination of seeds we can actually use, because I need to keep this filled up all the way. And as you can see, not all of these seeds actually work, which is interesting. If you look at the bioreactor page here, it does show you what seeds are allowed. So wheat seeds, pumpkin seeds, melon, beetroot, those ones are obvious, you know, vanilla crops. It just wasn't obvious. Why is this one empty? It just wasn't obvious what Pam's Harvest Craft stuffs could also work. Rose red, interesting, because I can make roses pretty easily. All the dyes. I wonder why all the dyes. Saplings work as well. Rice seeds, canola seeds. Oh, we have a lot of canola seeds, so we can use those pretty easily. And then it looks like a lot of these seeds. Plants and vegetables. Yeah, it seems really random which ones work and which ones don't, but I'll just have to adjust our farm to these ones. Like the cucumber seed is different from the giga pickle, which is funny because I don't know how you actually grow a pickle, because you have to pickle a pickle. Well, you have to pickle a cucumber to make a pickle. You don't grow a pickle. But that'll be a problem for later, because it does seem to work so far. I did go ahead and make our compactor, which was useful because I needed to make blaze rods, which you have to compact 5 blaze powder in order to make it. And it does take a long time to do so, but then that worked out pretty well. So I think with that, we shouldn't need too many other machines. Like if I need to make gears, the basic ones, they're pretty cheap to craft because you can craft them with iron. But if you use a gear working die, it takes the iron price out, which makes it a little bit cheaper, which I guess in the long run would be really useful. But at least for right now, it hasn't really bothered me. You can also cast them for 4 ingots, but that one's just a... If I'm going to do that, I might as well just do the gear working die in the compactor. So I'm not sure what other machines we're going to need at this point. But now that we have the power, it should be pretty easy to get going. Now, in terms of overall infrastructure, I was looking at the flux ducts to see at what tier we should be at, and it seems like we can just skip over to the redstone energy flux ducts, because to make leadstone flux ducts, it's pretty expensive, but then to make the hardened flux ducts, which improve the yield by 4 times, you need to convert the leadstone flux ducts with Invar, which means I would have to tear down all of the flux ducts just to make them into hardened, but to make the redstone energy flux ducts, which transfer 9,000 RF per tick, these ones are made from destabilized redstone and the empty redstone energy flux ducts, and these guys are just made from hardened glass and electrum, which at this point isn't that expensive. Electrum is pretty easy to make through alloying right now, as it is just an alloy of gold and silver, which we have in really high amounts, as you can see over here. If we take a look at our alloy chest over here, we have tons of electrum. In fact, we have tons of like everything at this point, as long as we keep sifting our resources. So it really shouldn't be a problem. So I think now at this point, we can kind of ignore a lot of the other expedient solution stuff. I'm not sure what else we would need from here. I was messing around with the pneumatic dynamo to see how you can convert pressure into RF, but it doesn't really seem that effective. So now we can start moving into Add Astra, and it seems like everything starts from these 4 over here. So let's start at the top with a funny way to use a charger. Ever wondered what would happen if you shoved metal into an induction charger? Now for this, we're going to have to make an energetic infuser, which is not too expensive. Transmission coils, copper gear, and a machine frame. So that should be pretty easy, and then we'll just add it, I would say, like right here. So let me grab, we're going to need some more flux ducts. I also need to dump these seeds. I can compost them into dirt, so that's what I'll do. Alright, so to craft the energetic infuser, we just need the lead gear. We're going to need 2 copper gears, pretty easy stuff. 2 redstone, oh I need a bit of silver. To make 2 transmission coils. And then we need 1 of these guys to make our energetic infuser. Task completed. Now it wants us to use Electrum Blend, which is pretty easy. Normally you can craft this, but since I already have Electrum, we're just going to go ahead and grind this down in our pulverizer. Let that get to work. So now I'm going to put this guy right here. He's going to get charged. Should have enough power for this guy. Yep, he's filling up nicely. Grab our Electrum Blend. Quest completed. Put metal in the microwave. Fluxed Electrum Blend is made by pulverizing a fluxed Electrum ingot or throwing Electrum Blend into the energetic infuser. It takes 80,000 RF, which is pretty expensive. That's double what we can supply in here, and it looks like it's going really slow. Show recipes. I mean, it's working. Wait, no it's not. Why didn't it work? Put it in the microwave. 80,000 RF, Electrum Blend, energetic infuser, charges items with RF. Why isn't this working? Charge rate may be limited by the item, because I don't think it's doing anything. Ignored. Augmentation upgrade required. Oh, it is working. It's just really slow. Oh, I see why. So, if we take a look at the infuser, it takes 80,000 RF. If we're only doing 40 RF per tick, that means this is going to go extremely slow. So let me grab some steel plate. Actually, is it steel plate for the upgrade? It should actually be, I think it's Invar. Yeah, Invar plates and a bronze gear. So now if we make an upgrade, this should double the energy. Okay, it didn't double it, added 50%. But now that it can use 60 RF per tick, it's going to do the craft slightly faster. Now, oh, and now that we have access to fluxed electrum, we can make advanced control circuits. Because we already have PCBs from downstairs, and it does take basic control circuits, so this is actually really expensive. So it'll take fluxed electrum blend, and then you melt this down with pyroetherium. Oh, okay, so we don't actually get it yet. To make the flux electrum ingot, we need to combine this electrum blend with pyroetherium dust. Quest completed. Give me more electrum blend to continue the process. And that's the end of the quest line here. It looks like for us to get to the cool looking material, we have to go all the way down this path here to Add Astra rocket, go this way to meteoric ores, when the iron is meteoric, conductive, all the way through here to advanced chemistry, heat in solid form to get the pyroetherium, and then we can make the cool looking material. Which means, now that we can produce a fluxed electrum blend, we need to go down to heavy duty alloys. So we need to make an electric compressor from Galacticraft. Looks like there's two ways to do it, using a compactor or a compressor. Oh, well, you can't craft a compressor, so I guess we have to use this craft here. So that's going to take 4 steel plate, and a compactor, and an anvil. So we should have everything needed for that. Let's grab 4 steel plate. Now we have to craft a compactor, which is a machine frame. It's going to take a piston, which is cobblestone and wood. We have cobblestone and wood readily available right here. Cobblestone and wood to make our piston. Then we need bronze, one of these guys. And oh, this is copper. So 2 copper gears and a bronze ingot. Copper gears are like this. And then our 2 bronze ingots are already made, so let's grab those. And that should be everything for the compactor. Now to make it, we need an anvil, which will take 3 blocks of iron, and then those wires from Galacticraft. I haven't made those wires yet. 1, 2, 3. Then we just need these aluminum wires, which is 3 plastic and 3 aluminum. I haven't actually needed to use aluminum for anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't even know if I have it. Oh, I do have some. But it's all going to be mostly in block form, because I don't think I've used it yet. And then I guess I'll put away the fluxed electrum for now, because we're not using it for anything. Block of aluminum. So now we can make these aluminum wires, and we can make the electric compressor. Power required 1800 RF per second. So that's actually not too bad, because usually everything is measured in ticks, and there's 20 ticks per second. So if you divide this by 20, that's actually, what, 90 RF per tick? Which is not that crazy. Status no power. Oh, I think I have to... There we go. Yeah, it fills up pretty fast. Electric compressor, done. And heavy duty plate is made by putting in our 3 Invar plates, 3 bronze plate, and 3 Constantan plates. So let's grab Invar, bronze, and Invar, bronze, and Constantan. Invar, bronze, Constantan. Bronze plate, Invar plate, and Constantan. That's why it's always good to have these get passively crafted. So now we could throw all 3 in here. Actually, it has to be... Why does it use energy passively? That's so weird. So now if I just split it like this, it'll make it. And yeah, so it looks like the energy drain is really low. And there's our heavy duty plates, tier 1. Not sure how many of these we're going to need. But quest completed, heavy alloys. And that gets us to the glorified crafting table. A cool looking crafting station. Well, you need one of these to get to the moon. Yeah, I know it's expensive. 6 sequential fabricators, a machine frame, and 2 heavy-duty plates. Interesting. And that will lead to Add Astra. We have stuff to make the fuel. Looking at more than just dust, I remember seeing one over here. The structure is there and has the loot in it, just not in a finished state. So it seems like we can go find the workbench at this place. Oh, let me submit this. Maybe I could build a shuttle. I managed to locate the final signal. It seems to be located about x minus 2,000 blocks from my shuttle. X minus 2,000. Oh, it's over there. At least it should be. X minus 2,000. So we'll have to head that way. in order to get one. That should save us on a lot of materials. So let me grab a bunch of food, grab some water, and then we'll head out. Alright, let's get going. Alright, it didn't lag this time, but looks like we're here. So let's see if we can find our NASA workbench. It's probably in this big building, but I guess we'll search the entire structure. There's also some solar panels that we could probably snag as well. And looks like there's some spawners on the inside there. Now, taking a look at this structure, looks like it's just chisel blocks. We could probably ignore this. That sounded like a ghast. That's not good. Oh, looks like there's more gas stuff up there as well. And they can see me. Okay, well first, I'm gonna grab these. They're not breaking. How do I take it? I can't take it. Okay, I'll come back later. We're here for the workbench. So we just have to take out the spawners, and there's a lot of them. Zombie pigmen, blaze, oxygen collectors. Okay, that angers the pigmen. Should have known. Okay, but we don't take much damage. Oh, no, that guy deals a lot of damage. Okay, bail out real quick. And I didn't bring a weapon because I didn't think... Well, I probably should have brought one anyway because we always seem to need a weapon. So I'm going to cheese it and let's tower up on the side here and see what we can find. Because there were multiple chests, so we should be good to go. The annoying thing are those blazes. And as long as no gas spawn on this side, we should be good. Let me grab this. Okay, we're almost at the top. Let me take a peek inside. Okay, there's the workbench. Let's see, let me set this to single block. Lanterns. Okay, there's only a... Why are you taking damage? There's only a small thing right here. So, we should be able to just build around this way. And there's a blaze. What the? Okay, that guy is on some demon time. I don't know what that was. I wonder what's damaging them. Okay, so it should be somewhere in here. Take a little peek. Okay, it should be right here. Okay, we got it. Gotta love my boots. Take no fall damage. Oh, that's not good. Okay, I still want to try and steal one of these. Okay, you gotta break the... Why are you guys following me? Leave me alone. Oh, and these are the good solar... These are the advanced ones. Okay, I definitely want to steal these, but then we gotta get out of here pretty fast. Okay, so if I set this to 3x3, I should be able to dig through this fast enough. Okay, that's 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I need to get out. Okay. Let's take shelter over here. There's no mobs that have spawned over here yet. What are these blocks? Factory blocks. Interesting. Okay, nothing over here though. That's good. We got our workbench, 3 oxygen collectors, and 5 advanced solar panels. Let's quickly eat some food to regen, and then I'm going to tower out of here. But I do need to get away from that ghast spawner, because that could be bad. Now I'm going to drink this golden apple juice. And that's why I needed to tower really fast. Okay, go. Dang it. Some of the skeletons have really long range, so you have to make sure you get really far away. But I think that's successful. We got some of those really powerful solar panels, so that's going to add to our energy production, which is really nice. If I have to start running through the night, that's not going to be good. Okay, this should be high enough. Let's eat some food. Wow. Nights like these. But let's get out of here. We'll be joining the skies soon. Almost full of dirt, which is really nice. Can't wait to put the farm animals over there so we get the farm products. And how did that skeleton spawn in? I'm not sure. Where'd you come from, buddy? He must have fell from up there, because he had, like, no health. But to the victor go the spoils. Our oxygen collector, our NASA workbench, everything. Finish off the quest, give me my heart containers. Now I can finally refill this guy. So we get more hearts. That should make combat a lot easier. Then further upgrades. Maybe I tune up further my comms dish. Maybe I can find stuff I couldn't find before. So once we submit an elite control circuit, we'll technically unlock this ruined vivarium, which is a transmission on a nearby planet. Interesting. Why is that Enderman staring at me? I don't like the look of that. But with that, ooh, 2 machine frames, nice. The glorified crafting table, and I don't think this has to go anywhere special, but I may as well put it where the resources are. So we'll slap this guy right over, put him right here. And if you take a look, the tier 1 rocket looks like this. Add schematics to unlock the new ones. So with that, we're right next to rockets, and I think next episode we'll work on this chapter and blast off to the next planet. But as always, I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.